In this video, we're going to review the Shark Vertex upright vacuum cleaner, and that's this unit right here. Now, we've got model AZ2002. So what do you get when you buy this model? Well, we've got it laid out here. Of course, you get the vacuum cleaner. It comes with the filters. There's 2 pre-motor filters and 1 post-motor filter. They're installed when you get the machine. And you get these 3 tools. This is a crevice tool. Gives you about 8 inches of reach. This is a dusting brush, and the head on this will pivot, kind of handy. You also get this pet power brush, and we'll talk about this a little bit later. And of course, there is an owner's manual, which also covers the 5-year warranty and how to register your vacuum cleaner. Let's talk a little bit about these tools. This crevice tool, as mentioned, gives you about 8 inches of reach, which is decent. We've seen some really short ones before, and this one's okay. The dusting brush, the bristles are kind of somewhere in between stiff and soft. They're about average. Now, the one thing that we don't like is that the tools fit onto the vacuum using something called compression fit, which means, as you notice here, they have to be pushed on and pulled off. It would have been nice if they had a system where they click into place and there's a release button on top, because that's a little more secure. This kind of thing, you never know how hard to push it on or if it's going to fall off when you're using it. It's just not quite as elegant a system. Now, we've also got this pet power brush here. Now, it's called a power brush, but it doesn't have a motor. It's not a motorized tool. It's actually a turbo wheel in here, and it's vacuum suction that spins that wheel. It's a little belt drive in here, and that in turn spins this finned brush roll. Now, we did a test to see how effective this finned brush roll is. We compared it to another turbo tool with a more traditional bristled brush roll. This is the turbo tool that comes with the Vertex. You can see the turbo wheel here. And on the underside, you've got this interesting brush roll with yellow rubberized fins. Now, we managed to dig up another turbo tool that came with one of our other Shark uprights. You can see the wheel here, but on the underside you have a more traditional bristled brush roll. So what we want to do is do a pickup test on this medium pile carpet. We've put down a bunch of lentils. We've got short white pet hair, long black human hair that we've kind of ground in. We're going to run both tools, and we want to see if this bladed brush roll that comes with the Vertex does anything particularly special. So let's start with this more traditional brush roll. Well, that actually ground to a complete halt. I think you can see that we got a lot of hair and stuff jammed in here. Not looking particularly good. Now let's try the bladed unit that comes with the Shark Vertex. Well, it didn't grind to a halt. Doesn't seem to be anything kind of left over here. So it did manage to pick up most of the debris without too much fanfare. Seems to be a little bit of stuff tucked in there that's now falling out, but overall it did do a better job. We like that the Vertex comes with a 30-foot power cord. We find 30 feet is sufficient to provide respectable cleaning reach. Sometimes we've noticed when you've got a power cord under 30 feet, people complain a bit. It doesn't provide the kind of reach they want. They find themselves having to search for that next power outlet. And not all Shark machines have that 30-foot power cord. For example, that is the ZU632 here, another good machine in our opinion, but it only has a 25-foot power cord. The Vertex comes with the popular lift-away feature, and what that allows you to do is to carry this dust canister motor assembly with one hand while using the hose handle and a tool, or even the hose handle wand and a tool with the other hand. It's kind of a little bit like some handheld vacuum capabilities, and we'll show you what we mean here. There's a button right here, and it's labeled powered lift away, so we can press that, and you'll see this whole assembly comes out. Now we just weighed this. It weighs about 8 pounds, so it's not light, but it is manageable. And let's take the handle off. Now I can put, for example, a crevice tool on the end of the handle here, and I can carry this around. I got a power button on the top here. You can see how handy that is. Actually, you could use this even inside of a vehicle interior. Of course, you are still tethered by your 30-foot power cord, so it's not like a cordless or anything, but still very handy. Now, if you wanted extra reach, you can also use the wand. Now, let's see if I can take that out. Let's try to put it on the end here. And I'll put the crevice tool at the end of the wand here. Okay. So you can see that'll give you a lot extra reach, good for overhead cleaning, for example. The Vertex has what is called powered lift away. Now, powered lift away actually has little power outlets here in the end of the handle, and that allows you to run a motorized tool. And that extends all the way down to the bottom of the wand, so you could also put a motorized tool at the end of the wand. Now, it is a little disappointing that in our Vertex package we did not get a motorized tool. We got a power tool, but that was a spun by vacuum suction, so it's not a motorized tool. But there are some other advantages to having powered lift away. Let's say I'm trying to vacuum under some low furniture. I think you can see with this upright, you've got this very large piece here, and that's going to restrict your ability to get under low furniture. But with the powered lift away feature, you can press the button here, take away this lift away pod, which is what they call it, and you can see how now I can get way under low furniture, and I have power to that cleaner head. Turn the power on. There you go. You can see that the brush rolls are spinning in the cleaner head, so that is your powered lift away. Now, some Shark machines have the lift away feature, but it is not powered lift away. Now, I have an example of that here. This is the NV360. I've got the same setup. You can see I've got the lift away pod here in one hand. Turn the power on. Cleaner head, the brush rolls are not moving. So, in a case like this, you have no power to the end of the handle, no power to the end of the wand. That is non-powered lift away. This is the underside of the Shark Vertex cleaner head. You can see the DuoClean technology, and that is the one soft brush roll here, and this other brush roll, so DuoClean, meaning two brush rolls. Now, this brush roll here is not a typical brush roll. As you can see, we've got some bristles. These are quite soft, but you've also got these blue blades. I think Shark calls them power fins. So this is a different kind of setup than you typically see. Now, we took the cleaner head off of our older Shark NV752 here, and I think you can see this is a little bit more of a traditional kind of setup with a single bristled brush roll. The surface of this soft brush roll actually has two different kinds of fibers. In the black color here, you can feel these are kind of stiffer bristles, and in the blue, it's a very, very soft fiber. Now, this whole unit comes off for easy cleaning, and there's a slider here on the side. You just push it down, and this pops right out. Very easy. And it's actually pretty easy to put back on as well, and it just clips into place. The controls on the vacuum are pretty intuitive and easy to use. There's a group of controls down here, and of course you have a group of controls up here. The handle itself has a little push button here that releases it, and we'll show a couple of clips of these two areas. This is the vacuum handle. You can see that the controls are made here to be easily accessible with your thumb. This is the on-off power switch. Here is the floor settings, and it's a slider. At the bottom is hard floor. In the middle is low pile carpet. And at the top here is thick carpet and area rugs. Controls in this area include the powered lift-away button. If we push down on that, you can see the whole lift-away assembly comes up. Goes back into place pretty easy. The dust cup release button here, push that down, dust cup comes away and clicks back into place. This is the wand release button or tab. We push that down, wand comes out pretty easy and clicks right back into place. So how much does the Vertex weigh? Well, we used to get our figures off of the Shark website, but we've noticed that the numbers there sometimes seem to go up and down a little bit, so we've started to weigh these units ourselves. Now, why have we got these four machines here? Well, they're all kind of in the same category as the Vertex, and that is kind of the upper end of the Shark upright spectrum. Now, at the far end is the Shark Apex, that's model AZ1002. That guy weighed in at around 18 pounds, so a little heavier than we thought actually. Beside it here is the Vertex. We got 16.7 pounds. This is the Shark NV752. We got 16.4, 16.5 pounds, something like that. And the Shark ZU632 at 16.2 pounds. So you can see that the Vertex is not the lightest of vacuums, but it's certainly not the heaviest either. Now, over here on our left, let me bring this across. I think you can see this is the Shark ZU561. Now, this is more of an intermediate vacuum, meaning it's not as expensive as these other four more feature-rich Shark uprights. And the reason this is here is that I've weighed this and it's 13.2 pounds. So it is substantially lighter than these other units here. And as you can see, Shark certainly does have lighter uprights. I think vacuum movement is pretty good. The head turns well when you twist your wrist. However, the machine isn't particularly lightweight, and it does take a bit of an effort to turn your wrist and to turn the vacuum. We've got these two brush rolls down here spinning forward, so moving the vacuum forward is not too difficult, but it will fight you a little bit on the pullback, making it feel a little heavier. It's not too bad, but it is noticeable. Now, I'm going to turn the vacuum on and move it around a little bit. It is in low pile carpet mode. You can see that actually turning that head, it responds really well, but this is a heavy area here, and it does take a little bit of effort on your wrist. Now moving it forward, pretty easy. Back, fights you a little bit, but again, not too bad. Overall, we do feel that the movement is pretty good, but hampered perhaps somewhat by the weight of the vacuum. The vacuum is easier to move on a hard floor. We've got it on our tile surface here, and you can see just how easily that head rotates. It's also a lot easier to move it back and forth, much more so than it is on carpet. The Vertex has 2 pre-motor filters and 1 post-motor filter, and we find filter maintenance on this machine to be pretty easy. Now, the first thing we're going to do to access the filters is remove the dust cup, and there's a release dust cup button here. Simply press that down, comes right off. We'll put it over there. You can see here we have a foam filter, and underneath that is a felt filter. Both of these are rinsable in water when they're dirty, and they can be reused. Of course, you put them in when they're absolutely dry. Typically takes 24 hours or more. And we make sure those are nice and snug. Now, the post-motor filter is a HEPA filter. There's a button here called Access HEPA Filter. You can just press down on that, and this assembly just comes straight out. Now, underneath is the actual filter. We press in here, a little bit of a click, and there's your filter, comes right out. This too is rinsable in water, and it can be reused. Now, let's see if we can put this all back together. Put that in, a little click there. Slide this assembly forward, clicks into place. Dust canister, There you go. Shark also states that this unit has a sealed system. Now that's not something we can easily test, but a sealed system ensures that all of the air entering the vacuum goes through those filters before being exhausted back into your room. It makes sure that you don't have unfiltered air leaking out through poor seals or cracks in the vacuum body. The dust canister on the Vertex is a fair size. It's got a capacity of 1 quart, so you shouldn't find yourself having to empty it too frequently. It's also pretty easy to detach from the vacuum, to empty and to reattach. To detach it, there's a dust cup release button here. If we press that down, you can see this whole assembly just comes right off. This is your dust canister. The button on the front opens up the dust canister door. Dust and debris fall out, and then you close it up and then reattach it to the vacuum. Pretty easy. Now, one of the things about this I guess we don't like a whole lot is that the dust canister is pretty narrow. And if you look at the size of the dust canister door here, you get an idea just how narrow this is. And as a result, you may sometimes find dust bunnies and hair and stuff getting caught up here, and you may have to reach in and pull it out. We've seen this kind of thing with a number of bagless machines, but maybe it's just a little bit more pronounced with this narrow dust canister. We performed some noise level tests using this digital noise level meter, and we performed it on these 4 vacuums here. Now, this is the Vertex, and we figured if you're in the market for one of these, you might also be in the market for some of these units here. There are other Shark uprights that are maybe similar in some ways to the Vertex. Now, we placed this 3 feet in front of the cleaner head of each vacuum cleaner with the brush rolls on, and we calculated peak decibels over about a 10-second period. At the far end is the NV752, and that came in at 75.2 decibels. Beside that is the Shark Apex, this unit here. This is model AZ1002. It came in at 76.1 decibels. This is the ZU632, 77.4 decibels, and the Shark Vertex at 77.5 decibels. So these two are very similar in terms of noise level, while the two at the end are the quietest. Just a quick note on the noise level. Well, it would be nice if the Vertex was a little quieter. We didn't really find it prohibitively noisy. It's not something that we would consider a deal breaker in any way. We've performed some hair cleaning tests. Now, all of these machines you see here will do a good job picking up the hair, but the key really is to keep the hair off the brush roll. Too much hair on that brush roll may limit the effectiveness of the brush roll, and at some point you're going to have to clean it, and that can be also a bit of a hassle. Now at the far end is the Shark NV752. We've put that into the test because it has a traditional single brush roll, and we'll see how that performs in a hair test. The unit here is the Shark Apex AZ1002. It has DuoClean technology and 0M technology, and the 0M is essentially a self-cleaning brush roll. It's designed to limit hair tangle. We'll see how that performs. And of course, the Shark Vertex, it too has the DuoClean technology, and it also has a brush roll that is designed to limit hair tangle. We've performed some cleaning tests, and in those tests we've compared the performance of the Vertex to the Shark Apex model AZ1002. It's another kind of premier Shark upright, if you will, with DuoClean technology. So what we did is we put together our own debris. We use a very fine scale that we have here, and we measure a specific amount of split green peas, flax seeds, chili flakes, and ground up Cheerios. We put those in about a 5-foot long line. We run each vacuum over it in approximately a 10-second pass, and then we calculate pickup. Now we've done that on this low pile carpet, and we've also done it on a tile floor. When we calculated percentage pickup by weight, we got 99.5% for the Vertex and 99.0% for the Apex. I think you could see in the test that the Vertex left less behind than the Apex. But, you know, in our opinion, both of these vacuums are pretty good on carpet. I suppose the Vertex was perhaps just a little bit better than the Apex. We've seen a lot of uprights that perform well on carpet, but are fairly average on hard flooring. That wasn't really the case with these two vacuums. Pickup from both these units was pretty good on our tile floor, in our opinion. I also think the DuoClean technology is helping with this. Now, as the table shows, we got 99.4% pickup for the Vertex and 98.8% pickup for the Apex. And while we feel the performance of both machines was quite good, once again, the Vertex was slightly better. We also performed an edge cleaning test between these two units, and that really tests the ability of the vacuum to clean right up tight against a wall or an edge. And I think you can see in these next couple of clips that the Vertex really did outperform the Apex. We've looked at vacuum features, we've discussed specifications, and we've even run the Vertex through a series of vacuum cleaner tests. In those tests, we found that the unit was very good on carpet, very good on bare floors, it was good at edge cleaning, and it picked up hair well. It didn't leave hair wrap or tangle in the brush roll, or at least very little, and it managed to get the hair up here into the dust canister for easy disposal, which is good. Now, like any vacuum cleaner, the Vertex has its pros and cons, and I think we've walked through a lot of those already in the video. It would have been nice if the unit was maybe a little bit lighter and a little less noisy. Neither of those was deal breakers for us at any rate. We like the fact that you've got the 30-foot power cord, so a decent cleaning reach. We also like the controls, fairly intuitive and easy to use. And we especially like the powered lift away feature, the ability that gives you to get under low furniture and to use it maybe a little like a handheld. All in all, I think the Vertex is worthy of your consideration.